Hello and welcome to a brand new game development video, where today I am yet again exploiting another beloved children's franchise. This time I'm going to be making a game about Club Penguin, which was in fact a significant part of my own childhood as the first sort of computer game I ever properly got into. So sit back, relax, enjoy the video. I hope that this is a little bit more entertaining than some of my past videos. I've put a lot of effort into this, so if we could go for 10 likes at the very least, that would really make my day. So without further ado, this is Grand Theft Penguin.
As with all of my projects, I started out by modelling the main subject, which was, of course, the iconic Club Penguin penguin. This was quite easy to do. It's just a sphere which was dragged out a bit, add some more spheres around. It looked pretty convincing.
I then added a feathery penguin skin texture and bloodshot eyes. As a firm believer in women's representation in media, I decided to add a lady penguin to my game. I thought it would be empowering, a real message to combat gender inequality and to level the playing field between the sexes. Now, it was a bit of a hassle to add it to the game, but in principle, I think I've done my bit. Now, one of the first things you do when you make your penguin in Club Penguin is you choose your penguin colour. I knew I had to add this in some way to my game, and the way I went about it, I thought was quite ingenious. Now, the way this works is it takes a randomised colour, and adds it as an overlay to the penguin skin texture.
I'm Thunderbolt, the best tornado siren. Look over there at Wayland's faulty wiring. It's no lie, I am for admiring. Never better than a Thunderbolt siren. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Ow. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Ow.
So the closest thing to a weapon in Club Penguin is the snowball. You throw it at people, they throw it back. That's basically the long and short of it. So I got to work, I applied a snow texture to a sphere, I wrote some vector math to determine where the snowball is going to go, which is basically getting the direction between a collision sphere in front of the player and the player model. The tricky bit was getting the aiming down the sights mechanic to sort of work, which basically zooms in the camera and makes the collision sphere visible, so you know the direction where the snowball is going to go. This wasn't exactly perfect, but what I had sort of worked, and you'll see in the finished game it's a bit janky.
But this wouldn't be Grand Theft Penguin if we didn't have any guns. So I made a gun model, I attached that to the player model, I then added a bullet and made that use the same logic but with slightly different maths as the snowball. And it works. I then meticulously crafted an HUD, which it featured health, ammo, and a wanted level, but that all comes later. One of the key takeaways from this part for me was that it's really important to keep your node graph clean. What I mean by that is when you do a lot of sort of complicated things in Unreal, your node graph can begin looking like spaghetti. And there are ways you can get around this. Now, the third thing I had to work on was the AI. Believe me when I tell you, this part is so complicated and so long, I could not fit it into a single video if I tried. Not least because I can't really understand what I had to do to get some of this stuff to work. Now, the first task of this was easy, building a pedestrian penguin who can walk around. All that does is it gets a random point in a navigable radius and will walk to that point, and when it's at that point it will call the random roaming function again, and it will just continue. It will loop indefinitely. The second part to that was building a police AI. So that is largely the same, but it has a pawn sensing component to see, is there a player in front of me, and does that player have a wanted level? If it does, then it will go to a certain distance in front of that player and fire its gun. The next part I worked on was the shopkeep, and that is largely similar, but if there's a player in front of them and they are holding a weapon, then it will drop a bag of money. Now the part where it gets really complicated are with vehicles. Now I don't want to give away too much because I want to explain what I did with vehicles later on in the video, but all it is just a spline path and having a car actor following that spline path. Now, police vehicles follow a slightly different logic. They will follow that spline path until they see a player, and if that player has a wanted level and they are over a certain distance away and or in a car, they will give chase to that player, and when they reach within a certain distance and the player is outside of the car, it will spawn a police actor. Now you can't have Grand Theft Auto without the ability to grandly theft some autos. So we got to talk about how I got the vehicles to work. Now I may have cheated just a little bit with this. I did use a pre-made content pack from Epic's marketplace, but what I did do is I added the ability to get in and out of the vehicles, and I made it so that when the vehicle gets down to a certain amount of health, it will start smoking, set on fire, and eventually blow up. And that's about it, really. I was pleasantly surprised about how easy this was to implement. I definitely thought this was going to be the hardest thing. It might have been if I made it myself, which I will try to do in future. But, yeah. So, we've got our players, we've got our weapons, we've got our NPCs, and we've got our vehicles. All that's left is to make a map to tie this all together.
Look. If you had one mind, one opportunity to seize all the diamonds you ever wanted, one moment, would you mine it or just let it slip? Yo, his hands are sweaty, knees weak, sword is heavy.
Now, here's the thing. This is when things started to get a little bit frustrating, because I made a really, really cool map. It had water, it had a day and night cycle with lights which turned on and off automatically. It was, all in all, quite a well-rounded game. I was quite proud of it. And then we came to compiling it, and it all broke. So what I ended up having to do is go into, select everything, copy it, paste it to a .txt file, which is somehow possible, then create a new project and then paste the text into the new project. Don't even ask me how that worked.
And it worked, but I lost a lot of stuff, and by this point I was really gutted and I didn't have much time left to work on the project. So what you're seeing doesn't necessarily reflect the finished product, but I would certainly like to come back to this in future to make it even better. So if you have any ideas as to what you'd like to see in Grand Theft Penguin, please comment them down below. Seriously, I'm still working on this. I would love to hear what you have to say, and you guys can have your chance to have your creative input into my game.
And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, let's have a look at the gameplay.
Right, let's go. This is a beat.
Oh. Oh. What a tune.
Yeah, breathless. I love the menu.
Thank you.
Perfect. Right, well, click start new game. Gee, why are my cameras inverted? That's the main thing. Am I getting shot at?
Yes, you're being shot at. You've also
Why am
shot
I being shot at?
Because you clicked when you started the game, you shot the gun, and now you have a wanted level.
So, I hear the ocean.
Don't shoot.
Oh my god, the
no,
frame rate.
shot. Oh.
Oh, the frame rate is bad. There's a cop. Oh, I'm being shot. How do I? Is that a cursor? How do I shoot? Die, infidel.
Can I go into any of them? No. Coffee. They look pretty good. Oh, I get it. It's like in a row, like the game.
Yes.
Why have I got red eyes? Am I on something? Right, Puffles. Let's have a look at. Oh. Oh, one sec. Oh, you can ragdoll. Great.
That's my proudest achievement. Yeah, and if you look in the pizza parlor and everything else in the theater, no, don't do that.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
And I did use Half-Life textures.
Wait, Barbenheimer.
I'm gonna rob a store. And what do you want, sir? Can I? Oh, what?
Oh. Oh, I went into the back. Oh, for.
You bosh! Oh shit! Oh shit! How poorly this game's running for me. I'm still having fun.
Do you want to go to the top of go to the top of that hill in front of you?
This one?
Yeah. And get out the car. And just when you get to the top there, press Control.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So if you
Well, my eyes are so bloodshot.
What's down here? I'm gonna look where you don't want me to look. What's down here?
Oh, I've crashed. One sec. Yes. Yes. What?
Oh, whoops.
Oh, wait. Oh, what? Huh. Well then. Oh yeah, this is good. This is quality AAA gaming right here.
This is the best game I've ever played. I didn't break it, I swear. 8 out of 10. Needs more heroin.
Go, I'm Thunderbolt, the best tornado siren. Look over there at Wayland's faulty wiring. It's no lie, I am poor admiring. Never better than a Thunderbolt siren. I'm Thunderbolt,